These aren't the comics you're looking for because they're on the drop list. So stay tuned.
Wait, wrong one.
Welcome back, Gainers, to another incredible, exciting, fantastic episode of ComicGains. And if you're new to the show, I'm Adam.
I'm Zach, and this is Princess Rohan doing that princess wave, looking very lovely, just as usual. So bow down, respect. There's a Coco. So bow down twice. You know you want to.
All right, guys. So today is Monday, and what do we do on Mondays, Zach?
The drop list.
The drop list. So we have a special little Monday drop list because quite a few Star Wars books added up on the drop list this week. So we thought we'd do a little special Star Wars get up for you. And it's interesting. It's a very good time to be a Star Wars fan right now, I think. We've had Disney Plus coming out. I'm basking in Andor right now as one of the greatest Star Wars television things I've ever seen. And can't beat the original 3, but Andor is amazing. So if you guys haven't seen it, definitely watch that out. But we do have the drop list for you, and some of these are based on older Disney Plus shows that have come and gone. Some amazing, some less than amazing. I think most of them have been pretty good, though. Pretty good, but some were really good. So, and then obviously we have some other books to talk about that, because not everything has to do with Star Wars on the drop list. And we report the news as we see it. You know what else we report?
Different drink sodas.
A tasty beverage.
They call it a soft drink because if you put alcohol in it, it becomes a hard drink. And this here's a Red Dog Monster Hydro Super Sport Superior Hydration, so they say. And, we're going to find out if it is.
Is that really why they call it a soft drink? Because there's no alcohol in it?
I believe so. Yes, it's soft, it's weak. It hasn't been tempered through the fires of life.
If you just made that up, it sounds right.
Yeah. Just off the top of my head. It's not bad. It's not bad.
Is it okay?
It tastes like sweet, but there's only like a couple grams of
Monster's
sugar.
like, I'm taking over the Gatorade world now.
12 grams? I like Gatorade better, but of course I never buy Gatorade because it's for plants, and that's what plants crave. Maybe not. I don't know. Yeah, it's not bad. I'm not gonna buy it again though.
And don't forget, guys, if you're a new buyer to Whatnot, you can use our special promo code in the link down below. We'll save you $15 off your first purchase, and you can help support the ComicGains show on a cool new app. If you ever want to hang out and check out our shows, we got ComicGains and Princess of Gains. Each have our own show, and we usually always do dollar starts, 30-second auctions. All right, guys. So if you're new to the drop list, what the ComicGains crew does is we scour the internet for trending lists, hot lists, need to buy lists, all these kinds of lists out there from 1 year ago, and we try to figure out which books have now lowered in price just because the hype is over, or the TV show is over, or the new comic book that was coming out is done with, or people didn't like the movie that came out, or the character is lame-o, or sometimes the character's still cool and it just might be a good idea to buy this book. So we got some great books for you today on the list. So let's start it off. We'll kick it off right here. All right. So kicking off the list, we have Adventure into Fear, number 24 from 1974. So this is a cool book because it actually started out as Fear, as the original title, and then they kind of changed it Adventures into later on. So this book is done by Gil Kane and Steve Gerber, and this was a hot book a year ago. Very, very hot. But this is the first Blade outside of Tomb of Dracula. So first time Blade's ever been on a title outside of Tomb of Dracula. And it's the first meeting of Blade and Morbius, which this had a ton of spec leading up to like the Morbius movie coming out. We know that there's going to be a Blade movie. Now, unfortunately, the Morbius movie was less than bueno. Not so good. And we're already having a lot of issues right now with the Blade movie. They're saying there's issues with the director, the main actor is not really digging the script, so it's a tough one. But this book was very, very expensive. Surprisingly, even at not great, it was an expensive book, which is pretty crazy. But cool thing, Adventures into Fear, just so everybody knows, Morbius was kind of leading the title at this point, and before that was Man-Thing, which is kind of a cool title. So keep on the lookout for that. But Zach will give you some more info on. Maybe it's a good time to get this issue number 24.
Oh, absolutely. There is only 11.9.8, so there's not a lot of sales data on that. Yeah, very low.
I like that number.
So I had to find one that has had more than a couple sales in a year. So I went to the 8.5. So 8.5 sales a year ago was $350. Now it's $179.99. basically cut in half.
That's crazy, like 8.5 too. It's not even a Silver Age book.
Yeah,
And it's that high price.
Yeah, it's insane. And there's not that many graded. I mean, for obvious reasons, but maybe there'll be more in future because of how rare this book is. Range in price is $179.99 and $350 reverse. Average sales was $271.28. It's kind of hard to say whether this would be a good buy right now because the combination of Morbius being a total flop and Blade, who knows when he's going to show up. So it's probably going to drop a little bit more. But get this book, at least raw, and for a good deal, eventually this book will be back up top and maybe Morbius will be a little bit more popular, I think. It's a great cover, great meetup. It's a lot of things going for it. But buy it right now, maybe in the raw if it's a good deal. That's what I think.
Yeah, a lot of people don't realize how big of a key this is too. So sometimes you can find it on the cheap if you're lucky. If you're lucky. All right, guys. Next up, we have Marvel Premiere number 10 from 1973, and you got Mike Ploog. Goodness, I love me some Mike Ploog and Steve Englehart working on this book. This is a great, great cover. Look how awesome that cover is. You got first Shumagorath and Death of the Ancient One, and Doctor Strange takes over the title of Sorcerer Supreme, all in the same book, a triple key. This book got some major, major heat before Multiverse of Madness Doctor Strange came out, when you got to see the eyeball tentacle creature, which everyone was kind of guessing was going to be Shumagorath. You did have that possibility of Gargantos, which is kind of a lesser known character in the Marvel mythos, and it was kind of one or the other. And then I think even in What If, the cartoon, you had some speculation that Shumagorath was going to be there with that tentacle creature coming out of the other dimension.
Oh yeah,
that's weird. This is kind of one of those books got really, really hot as well because of that. And they didn't really state exactly who the character was in the movie and didn't really give much background. There's kind of like, Wanda took control of this other dimensional creature and made it do her bidding, and then they handled it, and we didn't get to hear much more of it. So if you were lucky enough to sell this book on the high, good for you. If you were holding on to it and you really like this book, good for you as well. If you were planning on selling it and you forgot to, I'm sorry.
You'll have to wait a little bit.
But Zach will give you some more info on this book because it is a very cool book. And I love the Marvel Premiere run. Great, great run of comics.
So, really good sales data in a 9.0. Couldn't find much in the 9.8 or in between it. Sales a year ago, 9.0, $565.
Wow.
Now, $167.43. Ouch. That's the low. It's the low, and then to the high, it's sold as high as, in a year, $699.
For 9.0?
A 9.0.
That's crazy.
Ooh.
That's crazy.
Average, $458.29. I mean, for 9.0, for $167, I mean, Bronze Age, almost Silver Age, I'm guessing.
73.
73?
Yeah.
I don't think this would be a bad buy in a 9.0. It's beautiful. You can't find these types of books usually in a 9.0 for under $200. Usually it's a lot more. Yeah, I would think it's a decent buy. I mean, it's nothing too crazy of a key spec because really all of it's happened already.
Kinda, yeah. Yeah, those other two, and technically if you say that was Shumagorath, I think it was.
But if you're a big Doctor Strange fan, this is a big Doctor Strange key and refers to it because he becomes officially the Sorcerer Supreme.
He has so many minor keys too.
But it's funny. There's another book. I can't remember what issue, but it says he's also become Sorcerer Supreme in it. And maybe it's kind of weird. So is it the first appearance of Sorcerer Supreme as him? Or, you know what I mean.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, look into it.
Leave a comment down below. More information.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. Yeah, so I would say this is a decent buy, especially for the grade you can get.
Nice. Good call. All right. Now, we were talking Star Wars, so let's get into some Star Wars action. We are kicking off here. We got Star Wars number 71 from 1983, a little lesser known key. You got Tom Palmer and Joe Duffy doing the work on this book. This is first full appearance of Bosk, one of my all-time favorite bounty hunters. You got to see him in Empire Strikes Back. He had the sweet little claw toes hanging over the edge while they're on that balcony, while Darth Vader's talking to all of them about no disintegrations as they pick him up. And then he's kind of become a fan favorite of the years. Shows up in a lot of comic books. He kind of has a weird lizardy, raspy voice, or at least that's how you kind of imagine him, and stuff. And he also has like the ability to regenerate arms and limbs and stuff. Like I've seen him get his legs cut off and he regrows them like a lizard. So
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, we officially haven't seen him. We've seen his race of people fight Mando in The Mandalorian, but then I don't believe any of those were Bosk. Hopefully not, because I think he killed all of them. So, but this is a really cool book. And a year ago, we all knew like Book of Boba Fett was coming out, and there was a lot of talk of different bounty hunter characters. And him and Dengar are two of the other second and third most popular bounty hunters out in the market. So, people were expecting to see them show up in Book of Boba Fett. We got Cad Bane instead, which is I'm fine with Cad Bane. I like me some Cad Bane every once in a while, but Bosk. That's what you need more. You need some Bosk. Like some chocolate. Isn't Bosk like a chocolate?
I don't know. I can't say for sure or not.
But more importantly, a little lesser known key, it might be a good idea to pick this up because I think it has room to grow. We haven't seen him yet, but it did drop.
Oh yeah, it dropped a lot.
Oh yeah.
So I could actually find 98 data in this. So 98 a year ago was actually not a bad deal. $395 for 9.8. For a big Star Wars key. Now, $103.
For 9.8?
Yeah, I'm not... Did I look at this wrong? But, I might be wrong. I don't think I am. Range is $103 to $399.99. Average sales $260.21. If you can find this for 9.8 for $103, don't sleep. Buy it. I guarantee you, this should be like a $400, $500 book at a 9.8. This should be.
I would think.
For sure. I mean, this would be the steal, I won't say for a lifetime, but this would be a steal of a deal. For, if you find them. I would actually try to buy as many as you can for $100-something.
Yeah. The very least, they're going to go back above 200. So double your money, double your pleasure.
At least.
Right?
It's all fun. Get those gains.
Right? All right. Okay, cool. All right, now we have Princess and Zach favorite here. We have Amazing Spider-Man 194. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. From 1979. You had the Al Milgrom, who we've met and love. Marv Wolfman. Working on this first Black Cat. And just an excellent book. Just a cool, just all-around awesome cover. It makes perfect sense for this character's first appearance. She's on the cover. She looks great. Great time period. This book should be hot all the time, but unfortunately it did get a nice big boost from the Morbius movie coming out, because in the trailer, they had the Easter egg newspaper come out where the guy's reading the newspaper, and on the front of it says Black Cat, friend or foe. On the front, everyone's like, oh my god, Black Cat's gonna be a Morbius, it's gonna be amazing.
No.
Luckily for our girl Black Cat, she did not make an appearance in such a cruddy movie as Morbius and ruin her first appearance on live action movie or TV. So she dodged a little bullet that, she's good at dodging bullets. So she made it out of that one. We're hoping to see her in a Spider-Man movie before we see her in a Morbius movie. But be on the lookout. Zach has a announcement for all you gainers out there. There is an error copy. And what are you going to show them the error? I think there's an error. Princess will show you the error.
That was the error copy.
This is the error copy. Yes. And if you do see this little yellow line in the top corner, it is not supposed to be there.
It's not supposed to be there. It's estimated between 1 to 3% of the print run, maybe even less. And this is actually my second copy. I was lucky enough to find one, and someone was sleeping and bidding on the auction there. I'm hoping this will be a higher grade than my 6.5. And if it is, score. If it's not, oh well. I'll try to find another one.
It's a good idea if you're at any cons, and people usually have 194 as their wall book. Good idea to look at the wall book. Double check, see if it's got that yellow line on it. It's happened.
I've seen thousands of these. I've seen thousands of the 194. And I've only seen one that had the error there. Only one at a con. The other one I found actually online. It's so rare, guys. It's ridiculous. If you are trying to find the best Black Cat book there is to find that error. Even though errors are kind of like a big argument. But that's for another story. That's for another video.
We're doing the drop list.
Okay.
All right, Zach, what are the numbers on our friend 194? Because this is an interesting book. This is one of those, like, pseudo blue chip keys. So
Yeah.
Sometimes the 9.8 don't be dropping, but the other books might.
Yeah, for some reason the 9.8 is actually up $100, but the 9.6 has severely dropped. Well, not severely. It's $1,450 from a year ago. Now it's $1,075 for a 9.8. Oh, 9.6. Oh, geez. Range is 960 to 2,280.
Mm-hmm.
It was as high as $2,000. Jeez. Average sales $1,586.07. I would say this is for 9.6. It's a pretty good deal. 9.4, probably even a better deal. But for this type of book, you really want to try to get at least a 9.4 and above. At least, ideally, unless there's something going on. But if you have a lower grade, that's fine too. But for investment purposes, if you're spending this kind of money on comics, you're doing it because it's an investment purpose and you love the book. If you're spending that kind of money on it, you want a high grade.
It's kind of one of those special Bronze Age books where it doesn't always have to be. You can get a little bit lower, yeah, unless it's an investment, but it's still respected in like an 8.0, which a lot of other Bronze Age books are not respected in an 8.0.
Yeah, I got a 6.5, I got 8.5. I mean, I'm hoping this book right here is an 8 for the error. I'm really hoping.
We'll find out soon. We're shipping it out tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm really hoping. But yeah, I definitely buy. I think buy in any grade.
All right, guys. And last but not least, because it's a Star Wars episode, we will round it out with a Star Wars book. And we have our good friend here, Star Wars 68 from 1983. And this is Gene Day and David Michelini did the story on the same person who wrote the Venom stories. So pretty cool. And first mention of Mandalorian in comics. It also is first Dengar, who we just talked about. Great bounty hunter. One of my other favorite bounty. I always thought his head was like taped on with something. Like, because he wears that, like, cool, like, headdress kind of thing.
Yeah.
But apparently not. His head's is secure to his neck.
Secure.
Yeah. But this is also, the character on the cover is a character named Fen Shisha, who is actually if I pronounce that correct, it's actually the...
Shisha.
Fen, yeah. Fenn. It's actually the first Mandalorian mentioned in the Star Wars mythos. So if you guys, a lot of people don't realize that you've had Boba Fett for a long time, but Boba Fett's not actually a Mandalorian character. So in canon, the way they changed it is Boba Fett's father or clone daddy, whatever you want to call clone daddy.
Clone daddy.
Yeah, he is actually was teamed up with some Mandalorians, and they respected his fighting ability so much that they gave him the armor to use. And that's why he had the armor, and then he gifted it to his clone son through the clone daddy.
Clone baby.
Yeah, his clone baby. And then that's how he always had the armor. So neither of them were actually like practice the Mandalorian like religion is what they call it. It's not just a people; it's like a religion.
Yeah.
So it's kind of weird. So a lot of people thought that was Boba Fett on the cover. It is not, and it's kind of a cool book. And we were just looking at it's like the third most expensive Star Wars book, Star Wars key of the moderns or the original run. And be on the lookout. Newsstand is a lot more rare on this book and does garnish a little bit more value. So Zach, what are the numbers on this book? Because Mandalorian show, this was hot. Obviously a year ago, Mandalorian was doing hot, and we haven't seen anything about a new season coming out yet.
Yeah. So a year ago, for a direct edition 9.8, it was selling for $2,000, rounded up. Now it's selling for $1,320. So a big drop, $700 basically. Range is $1,320 to $2,250. Average sales $1,914. For the price it is right now, it's not a bad buy whatsoever. They're gonna have another Mandalorian show. They're gonna have another Boba Fett show, or have those characters in another thing. So it's gonna go back up. I guarantee it. It's a great cover, great yellow cover. Usually you can only pull that off in the Golden Age, but they pulled it off in the Bronze Age score. This is buy. It's a little spendy, but if you got the cash floating around, it's not a bad time to get it right now.
Mm-hmm.
Not bad at all. And I think the best return on your investment on this list as of right now, it's probably, I would want to say the Star Wars 71, because it's so cheap in the 9.8. But I think the ASM 194 would also be a good investment, because especially if you can get it in a higher grade. Investment purposes.
You can't go wrong
return
with
on
Black
investments.
Cat.
It's just, if you get in a high grade, it's just going to go on average on average, over a 10-year period, year-over-year increase of probably more than 10%. That's what I would say for this quality book, because she hasn't appeared yet. There's still no like big nostalgia with her. You know, once you get that nostalgia, it's like, wow, that was a great character played by this person. And then you remember 10, 20 years ago, I want to get that first appearance.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody's thinking about that at the same time because they got a little extra scratch in their bank account. And then the price goes up a lot. Anyways, yeah.
And that's how the world works.
That's how the world works.
All right, guys, that's going to wrap up the drop list for this week in November. And as always, if you guys love hearing these drop lists as much as we like delivering them, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the notification bell so you always know when new things are going down, because our next show will be live on Wednesday where we're hanging out, going over New Comic Day, looking at new mystery boxes to open, and just overall having a good time with all you lovely people out there. And leave a comment down below. Let us know what you think of this drop list, whether or not you guys had any of these books, or you think about picking up any of these books, or you're glad these books are on the drop list, because sometimes you're glad about those. I don't know if I'm ever glad books are going down in price, but
right?
Yeah, not usually.
No, never.
But Zach, you got anything else?
Except for when you want to buy them really badly. Yeah, you gotta share. You gotta be like out in this galaxy far, far away, living on a planet of some sort. There's a lot of planets, apparently. We only know about one. There's a lot more planets that can sustain life, right? And you hear the stories about the Jedi. You get creatures like Coco around. What a weirdo. No. And you're like, oh, yeah, I want to be a Jedi. So you start thinking you're feeling about midichlorians and all that. But then you're like, realize no one ever talks about it anymore. And did you actually really feel the midichlorians, or was it just gas? Are you going to be a Jedi? Who knows? Maybe you are, maybe you're not. Hey, if you're not, just become a BA. A bad. And that's how you get those gains.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It's like Bosk or, hey, Boba Fett's doesn't send any of the midichlorians. And they're pretty strong too. And then you get the Yoda climbing on your back. Yeah. Empire. That's how you get those gains.
Oh, yeah. All right, guys. And we will see you this Saturday. We have another CGC unboxing, and I think we're getting our butt kicked even further.
It's going to be a good one.
More butt kicking.
Ouch.
And then whatnot later on that evening. All right, guys. We'll pack it up. We'll see you there.
Get those gains.
Stay safe.
Stay safe. Stay dangerous.